Welcome to the YouTube channel where I am the load. We're gonna have to rate how traumatic this experience is. Yesterday, I had to be at the airport in Dallas to pick up a gato with anger at like 2 p.m. Anyways, day before, frantically cleaning, stay up super late. I wake up though, day of, I make it over to Anger's on time. Anger's like, cool, we gotta go pick her up from the airport. So why don't we take the Escalade V? It'll be really funny if we pick up the gato in a comically large, excessive, ridiculous vehicle. Basically, you need to stay away from all things that start with Esca. Oh my fucking God, Red. Yeah, no, real. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even connect those two things together. Is it the joke that you loaded an Asian woman in the back of a van? No, it's just that Europeans like to call my Forester a large car. Actually being traffic Twitch, this is a joke. That's not true. First of all, we get near the airport. I hear from Lita like, okay, I just landed. I'll be getting off the plane soon. And then literally nothing. So I know that she has service so she can message me. And I responded back like, okay, keep me updated. I even asked her if she wanted a drink. Don't two blinkers me while I'm in the middle of explaining the shenanigans that you pulled, okay? I'm sitting there talking to Anger and we're like at the airport. So we pull off and I'm waiting to hear back anything. I'm waiting to get like an update or anything from her. And almost an hour with nothing. And I'm like, oh shit, did she like go through passport control or some customs and like, did something actually happen? And I'm like, I'm really starting to become like concerned about this. Like, yeah, gato taken by ICE. I was worried and I finally hear back and it was literally, oh, I was sorry. I was just on the phone with my mom. So we hear back and I'm like, oh, thank fuck. She's just, you know, it's like, it's no big deal, whatever. Just a little 45-minute disappearance. So we decide to make our way to the terminal and the Escalade was kind of being funky, right? So we stopped at a gas station to get drinks, hence me asking Lita if she wanted a drink, and then she never answered me. But we were like, okay, well, that's weird. The Escalade was slow to start. Like it turned over a couple times before it started. And Anger just got it back from having a lot of work done to it. So we checked the oil pressure while we're sitting in the parking lot during the 45 minutes of silence. And we see that it's hovering around 10 PSI, but we're seeing as low as like 6 PSI. And I'm like, huh, that's kind of low. You know, I'd kind of expect that to be, you know, consistently above 10 at least, I would hope. But, you know, we did just drive here and it's hot and you know, who knows? So we take note of the oil pressure and I'm not going to lie, Anger, while we were sitting there, I actually Googled what is the oil pressure supposed to be for a 2024 Escalade V at idle. And it was like, yeah, 15 to 30. And then I look up and I see 6 on your display and I'm like, that's not 15 to 30. So I'm sitting there and I'm seeing like 6 PSI, but the car's running. There's no smoke. It's not like stumbling on itself or anything. You know, it's probably fine. Or so I wanted to believe in that moment. I finally hear from Lita again after making it through passport control or customs or whatever. And it's just like a very aggravated, was it a voice message? I'm pretty sure it was. And all I really took away from it was they took my schmeat. And I was just like, pardon? My 3 shalamis. Yeah, Lita's meat was too powerful for customs. And the schmeat sniffing dogs apparently alerted them to the presence of her shalamis. They were 5.6 inches long. That's... Yeah, so unfortunately, Lita suffered a pretty harsh mental blow from having her schmeat violated by Customs and Border Protection. So we scoop up the gato, mission successful. We're planning on having, you know, a quick bite to eat, maybe go by the micro center and then, you know, get the first reaction of the insane roads in Dallas from a European's perspective in the most un-European vehicle we could possibly have brought. And we hop in the Escalade, make our usual like, haha, this is way bigger than the Forester jokes. We're having a good time. Life is good. We're leaving the airport. Anger gets on the gas. There's loud noises. We're going the speed limit. Twitch. Life is good, okay? Life is good. And then suddenly, the Escalade just turns off, shifts itself into neutral, and we are just coasting down the highway. This is like not quite rush hour traffic, but it's, you know, traffic near the airport during the holiday season on 635 in Dallas, which is known for being a not busy wait, no, it's known for being fucking terrible and just full of all of the traffic ever. So we're just coasting. Luckily, we're at a place on the highway where we can at least pull off. So we coast to a stop. Anger he's pulled off the road, but like we were like 2 feet away from the moving traffic, probably, I don't know, 3 feet away from the moving traffic. It was uncomfortably close to the moving traffic. At first, Anger's like, oh yeah, it's done this to me. So we'll see if it restarts and we can at least get moved off. So we coast off, we get parked. We're sitting there like, oh, okay, so this is not probably great. He turns it off, hits the start button. It did not even attempt to turn over. There was no like, it was just like, oh yeah, your electronics are on. So he's like, oh, well, that's weird. It hasn't done really this. So we give it a second and turn it off again. He hits the button again, same thing. So we're like, okay, I guess we'll call OnStar. So he calls OnStar and they're like, oh, well, I guess we can call a tow truck. And we're like, okay, cool. So a tow truck is nice and everything, but like we're not close to home. Like we can't just like, we need to get back home. It's a couple hours away. And the OnStar person is like, oh, so like you need like a loaner or a lift or something, or, you know, they'll take you to the dealership and you can probably get a loaner. And Anger's like, yeah, but there's 3 of us. And the person's like, oh, well then we have to call you a lift because the tow truck driver can only take 2 people. So we're like, okay, we'll take the lift, but like, what do we do? Like, do we leave the key with the car? Like, how does this situation work? And the OnStar person answered, but it was like, yeah, call you truck. They'll be there. Good loaner. But basically we deduced that there was a Lyft driver on the way and that a tow truck would be there at question marks. And we didn't even have delicious salamis to snack on, okay? It was soul crushing. So that was awesome. This fucking Lyft driver, dude. At first I was like impressed, right? Because like we got the Lyft notification, like, I don't know, 5 minutes after they told us that they were gonna call that Lyft. And I was like, oh, cool. So they'll be here like pretty quick. And Anger gets the app pulled up and we can see where the Lyft driver is. Oh, hold on. Satellite view of our predicament. Okay, this is the airport. We literally went up. We go right here. We make it off of the airport property. We're like, we're going down 635. And then literally right fucking here, we roll to a stop. We're like a mile from the airport. And all we can do is look longingly at the whiskey cake and Mexican sugar. It's like, damn, wish we could just like go get a drink right now. I want to remind you, these are American roads, okay? So if you want to go to this restaurant, you have to cross 4 lanes of traffic. Hope Gato was immediately like, American roads? Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, she could confirm this. She was like, what the fuck are these roads? So the Lyft driver gets called and I'm like, yay, they're gonna be here. The dude shows up, goes to Mexican sugar. So we're just looking at our Lyft and it's across 3 lanes of traffic at the Mexican restaurant. And we're just like, well, what we need you to come to the side of the road here. And so the driver's like, okay, and takes off again and just like fucks off down the road. And we're like, okay, they'll get it this time. We're watching on the app because you can see where your lift is. And he's just like taking bizarre turns. We're just watching him wander around. And he goes back. Actually, I think he pulled into like the Lupe Tortilla restaurant parking lot this time. And we're just like, no, you need to actually get onto 635. Please, for the love of God. We think that he's going to make it there quickly. And then we end up just like sitting/standing around on the extremely dangerous side of the highway for like an extra 15 minutes while this dude does big ass circles around us trying to figure out how to get to us. And I'm like, okay, well, this is going super well. The guy finally figures it out. And chat, if you ever get into a situation where you need to merge onto a highway, don't park behind the vehicle that you're picking people up from. For the love of God, park in front of the vehicle that is disabled. He pulls up right behind the Escalade. Did he get hit? He did not get hit, but it would have been more safe for everyone. And I am not kidding if he had gotten hit and we had never gotten into that lift, because holy shit, it is by far the sketchiest rideshare that I have ever been in. We didn't even have to go very far. We had like a 15-minute drive from this place to the place that they were going to take the Cadillac. This dude parks behind us. I immediately am just like, oh, Jesus Christ, this is bad. This dude's like, oh man, the GPS was lying to me. It was crazy. It had me going all over the place, but it's okay. I made it here. And he actually said this. And we're like, yeah, dude, that's crazy. But you know, we're glad that you made it. We get in the car and this dude just, he was sitting there trying to merge into 635. And I honestly don't know how he got away with it, because he basically just had to pull into moving traffic and floor it. We literally only had to go a couple of turns for this drive. And I don't think that our Lyft driver could actually read English. And like, I'm not trying to be mean, but there was a point in the Lyft drive where he went to push his hazards button, which is up near the OnStar button, and he accidentally hit the OnStar button, not just basic OnStar, the emergency SOS button. Yeah, that's true. So he hits the emergency SOS OnStar button. A big giant message pops up on the infotainment system. Dude does not acknowledge it. He does not skip a beat. Yes, it is one of the ones where OnStar can take control, but I don't know, like maybe he does this so often that they just disregard it, because nothing happens. They don't take control. He doesn't acknowledge that it's happened. Like, honestly, this dude was so bad that I'm getting like turned around telling the story. Hold on, we gotta rewind it a little bit. So this is serious stuff, okay? So there's traffic that goes this way, and then there's traffic that goes this way. We are just zooming around. We're going, we exit, and it's like, you need to turn right. And this dude pulls into here. He starts going into oncoming traffic, but then he realizes what he's done. So here he turned on his hazards, right? In this dude's mind, I think that him putting his hazards on, I take priority. I just get to do what I need to do, and I've got my hazards on. So people need to watch out for me. You would think that he like, oh, I'm just gonna abandon this idea and I'm gonna go down the road. No, he's like, I'm just gonna awkwardly stop here, turn on my hazards, and fucking reverse into traffic that is exiting off of 635. Like, this dude, Terry, throws it into reverse and just starts reversing next to vehicles that are flying past us at like 60 miles an hour. Well, I need a drink. I need a drink, dude. There's a reason why the taxi industry required a special license. Bro, I honestly kind of miss it. So we survive this. We survive him throwing it into reverse, and then he goes on down this way. But he forgets that he put his hazards on. So he's just driving around with his hazards on. And all of us in the car are just kind of like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, what the, like, nobody wants to like say anything, but like, we're all terrified. Whenever the GPS would say, and I'm not even kidding, in like any amount of distance, turn right, or any amount of distance, turn left, he tries to turn right into like a parking lot. And there's a line of traffic that is trying to pull out of the parking lot. What does he do? He uses the same, I'm gonna put the hazards on trick. Anybody trying to turn in behind us, get fucked, I guess. So when we go to pull away from here, he's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna turn off my hazards button. I'm gonna hit the SOS button. The music stops. This screen just goes like, it turns black and it's just like, SOS button has been pressed. You know, OnStar has taken control, but nobody, like no OnStar person comes through the radio. Yeah, full bright red screen. Okay, no, he didn't. He just hits like a button up here to like make that screen go away, and he just turns his music back on. Anger and Lita, did he actually manage to turn the music back on before we got back? Or before we got to the dealership? No? Okay, so we just rode the rest of the way in silence. SOS mode was still active when he dropped us off. Oh God. Oh God. Bro, at that point, I was just like, please let us make it to the thing. We make it past the Tesla, which was very confused about us being just in the middle of the exit of that parking lot. And we have to start like telling him where to turn, because it's like turn right, and he starts to immediately turn right. And we're like, no. That's not the one that you need to turn at, like it's up here. And we had to do that for the rest of the turns in the trip. It was terrifying. And like, I'm sure that you will not be shocked to hear that he would like stop in the road to try to like figure out what he was supposed to do and then start moving again. He tried to drive past the dealership, right? Like we had to be like, no. Like this is your turn. Like this is it. I have never in my life been more happy to get out of a vehicle. And I felt so bad because remember, we made it 2 miles away from the airport with the person from Europe who's like, yippee, America. I'm off of my 10-hour flight. Surely everything is gonna be much better than my plane ride. So then we're sitting there at the GM dealership, right? And the dealership is like, hey, so there's one person ahead of you for loaners, and you know, like we'll probably have one before long. So like, if y'all could just hang out, that would be good. So we're sitting there with a giant rolling piece of luggage, a backpack, and a very unenthused gato. Bro, what the fuck? Yeah, apparently we needed like a special loaner that was allowed to leave the DFW area. I think that was the deal. I think that's what it was. But the person that helped us, she was very nice. But about, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes into sitting there being like, yay, she was like, oh, by the way, we have hot chocolate and coffee and cookies and stuff like right around the corner. I was like, you know what would have been really sick to know about, like when we first got here, was the free refreshments and everything that we could have been enjoying while we're sitting next to a giant Christmas tree. When she asked me from where I was coming from, my brain completely, yeah, this poor woman at the dealership has heard Gato's there from Europe, and like, you know, we're trying to show her around, and yeah, it's really unfortunate that this happened right then and there. So she's trying to be like personable and friendly, and is like, have you ever seen like I don't know, like a gif of like a robot freezing or something? Like it's like the system completely locked up. It wasn't like Lita was trying to be mean or anything. It's just like the question literally just like crashed her system. yeah. Like, oh yeah, Luxembourg. Oh my God. Everything was overstimulating me. That's completely understandable. I went and I ate the remainder of the cookies that they had, which was 2. I took the last 2 cookies. To be fair, I did offer one to Lita, but she was like, no. And then I did not offer it to Anger. I just ate both of them. I'm sorry, Anger. I'm sorry. It's really, you didn't miss out on much. So we got our loaner, we get on our way, we go eat Mediterranean food. But at that point, it was like 8 p.m. or something. You want me to draw the Mediterranean restaurant too? All right, we made it to the restaurant and we had food. Draw the illegal schmeat. Don't ruin my schlami. No blunts allowed, dude. We leave there, and it's a requirement that you have to take the European to Buc-ee's. So even though Lita was so incredibly over it, we did in fact stop by the Buc-ee's at like 10 o'clock at night. And we were like, here's a big ass gas station. Hooray. I feel like it's a fair statement to say that it took her a couple minutes to warm up to the whole spectacle of it. The gato found those little sound thingies that like you turn them upside down and they go, well, she found one of them and realized what it did, and then picked up as many as she could hold. She literally just started piling them into her arms and trying to figure out how to flip them over. Like, she picked up so many that like she couldn't figure out how to actually turn them all over at the same time. Truly I can't take you anywhere kind of moment. And yes, she was absolutely giggling. But we made it back to Anger. The gato got to meet the gatos at Anger's place. She's seen like 8 bajillion pictures of Cookie, one of Anger's cats. So we hung out there for like a little bit. Also, the plan was to get back early enough for us to swap a component on my car, because my car is misfiring right now. We get into my highly modified 2005 Forester and it is displeased. And I'm just like patting the steering wheel and being like, it's okay, Forester, please. I'm sorry. Lita's first impression of the Forester is that it's a complete disaster. And all of a sudden we hear like super loud noise. The trim has unsealed from the side of the windshield and slapped the top of the car as we're going like 75 miles an hour down the road. And it scared the shit out of both of us. Oh my God, dude. I love you, man, but please never come within 5 feet of my cars ever again. This is not my fault, man. Okay? And to be fair, we did make it, okay? I think the Forester just has a bad blow back. I will let y'all know on Friday.